What did people do as soon as the sun went down 500 years ago? It's 1523. You're a farmer in England. You've been up since before sunrise. Your hands are cracked, your back aches. You just ate a bowl of pottage, which is basically thick porridge with whatever vegetables didn't rot this week. And now you're sitting in your house. And the sun just dipped below the horizon. So, what happens now? Well, first, understand something. Your house has one room. Your whole family is in it. There's a fire in the middle, no chimney, just a hole in the roof. The smoke just kind of hangs there. Your eyes have adjusted to it, but guests still cough when they walk in. And there is no light. Not the power went out dark. I mean, you cannot see your hand in front of your face. The outside world has just ceased to exist. The darkness. Here's something we genuinely cannot imagine. Historian Craig Koslowski spent years studying the night in early modern Europe, and his conclusion was stark. In the year 1500, people feared almost everything about after dark, not in an abstract way, in a very real, documented, theological way. The night belonged to demons, to spirits, to criminals. If you were out after dark without a lantern, people assumed you were up to something evil. Because why else would you be out there? The word curfew literally comes from the French couvre-feu, cover the fire. At around 8 or 9 p.m. a bell would ring across town. That was your signal. Rake the coals, extinguish the flame, get inside. Because in a town made entirely of wood and straw, one knocked over candle could burn the whole thing down by morning. This actually happened, repeatedly. So, you're inside. Fires banked, doors bolted, and now what? The evening. You probably ate your main meal hours ago, around midday when there was still light to cook by. Candles were not a luxury, they were currency. Priests were sometimes paid in candle ends. Churches held competitions to see which group of parishioners could keep the most candles burning. A single tallow candle, the cheap kind, made of animal fat, smoky and foul-smelling, represented real money. So, you don't waste it. What you do instead, you sit with your family by the fire. And you talk. That's it. That is the entertainment. You tell stories you've heard 100 times. You sing songs. Your wife is spinning wool in the dark, almost by feel, at this point, because that's just what hands know how to do. Maybe someone had a strange dream last night, and that becomes the topic for an hour. People in this era believed dreams were messages from God, from the devil, from the dead. And this is the part nobody tells you about. You go to bed at like 8 p.m. The secret sleep. But here's where it gets fascinating. You don't sleep through the night. Nobody does. Not yet. That's a modern invention. What actually happens is this. You fall asleep. You sleep for about 4 hours. Then, somewhere around midnight, you wake up. Naturally, calmly. This is called the first sleep. And the period after waking is called the watch. Historian Roger E. Kirch spent decades collecting references to this. He found it in diaries, in court records, in medical texts, in Canterbury Tales. The French physician Laurent Joubert wrote in 1529 that couples experienced more enjoyment together after the first sleep. Around 3 or 4 a.m., you fall back into the second sleep, which carries you to dawn. We didn't lose the two-sleep pattern because science decided it was bad for us. We lost it because of the light bulb. Gas lamps in the 1800s, then electricity, bedtimes got pushed later. The gap between first and second sleep got compressed, until eventually it closed completely. So, when you're lying awake at 2 a.m., heart beating a little too fast, brain running a little too loud, that's not insomnia. That might just be your body remembering something it hasn't forgotten.